just when you thought it was safe. So, Disney's Snow White just flopped again in theaters for a baffling re-release. This time, it's even worse for the Rachel Zegler disaster. So, for whatever reason, they put this terrible movie back into theaters, like 1,500, like 12 to 1,500 theaters. It's not doing good. Disney's baffling decision to re-release its live-action Snow White remake this past weekend has resulted in one of the most humiliating flops the studio has ever experienced, and that's saying something in this post-Wish era. Initially intended as a crowd puller for Mother's Day weekend, Snow White was dropped into over 1,300 theaters across the United States. The result, a pathetic haul of just $200,000, averaging just $50 per theater. They thought this was going to be a huge win. They were wrong. It's a result so dreadful it evokes memories of Sony's ill-fated Morbius re-release, which became a meme for how disconnected studios can be from their audiences. Disney, it seems, didn't learn the lesson. Why would they? Why would any of these people bother learning the lesson? A tale of two flops. Not only the movie, but what I have between my legs. No, I'm kidding. My pee-pee is small. The original release of the Snow White remake already stumbled hard out of the gate. Laden with controversy from the start, the film starred Rachel Zegler, whose repeated public criticism of the original 1937 classic quickly soured public sentiment. Zegler's remarks about the original film being weird, creepy, and outdated drew widespread backlash, especially when combined with her political posturing and the film's significant rewrites to a beloved fairy tale. Also, you really can't see him right now. You can see part of him. Roxas right there. Roxas! Don't let him deceive you! He's like, Grandpa, I'm sleeping. I don't care about your nonsense right now. The result, a global box office run totaling just $202 million. A massive miss when weighed against its ballooning budget, reportedly soaring to more than $300 million due to excessive reshoots. That's before marketing. The losses were so severe, insiders projected Disney would be in the red by well over $100 million. But apparently that was enough. Disney went back to the well with the Snow White re-release this past weekend, and audiences overwhelmingly said no thanks. They honestly think that people were like, "Oh, let's go see the movie, Mom. Let's go see the live action Snow White," and she's like, I thought you loved me. Why would you make me do that? This isn't a Mother's Day present. This is a death wish." The re-release nobody asked for. Disney's logic behind the Snow White re-release remains unclear. Was it a contractual obligation with theaters? A misguided test balloon for potential award campaigning? A last-ditch effort to boost streaming hype? Or all the above? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Whatever the reason, it backfired spectacularly. Bringing a box office reject back into theaters just 2 months after audiences already rejected it, is, at best, wishful thinking. At worst, it's a complicated misread of... It's not a misread. I mean, they really thought that, oh, it would bring it back around Mother's Day weekend. It's going to make a lot of money. Big PP numbers. So many very large PP numbers. They thought they were going to make like $1 gajillion. Unlike legacy films such as Revenge of the Sith or Lion King that enjoy profitable re-releases thanks to enduring popularity, Snow White was already tainted by controversy, lackluster storytelling, and the stench of political baggage. The audiences simply don't want to see it again. What's most concerning is how out of touch this move makes Disney appear. They've been out of touch for a long time. The studio is clearly reeling from a string of box office performers, Wish, The Marvels, Little Mermaid, Captain America: Brave New World, and now Snow White. Each of these films have been tied not just to weak storytelling, but to a studio's decision to seem more focused on political messaging than connecting with the paying audience. This wasn't a bad decision, it was a costly one. Thousands of theater screens were tied up with a product that had already proven it had no staying power. That's real estate that could have gone to any number of indie breakouts trying to gain traction. Instead, those theaters were saddled with a movie that, in some venues, likely didn't even sell a single ticket all weekend. Yeah, that's think about that. Some theaters probably were just completely empty. The Snow White re-release was a mistake, a costly one, a predictable one, and one that highlights just how far Disney has drifted from its audience. What do you think, Roxas? You're like, Grandpa, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. The original animated Snow White and Seven Dwarfs was a revolutionary moment in cinema, the first full-length animated feature film in history. This remake, by contrast, will now be remembered for tanking not once but twice. That's an achievement no studio should be proud of. Yeah. Back then, there was nothing like Snow White. Just between animation, color, and all that, there was just nothing like it. It's kind of like with Wizard of Oz, how breakthrough that was. So it really pushed what animation could be and what it should be. Because even cartoons up to that point were just black and white. They were very simplistic for the most part. But then you have this beautiful, fully colored movie coming out. Voice acting and bright, vibrant colors and like fluid animation. And everyone's like, what is this sorcery? What is this? And it became a gold standard to what animation should and could be. But now where Disney was once that innovation and imagination, inspiration, they're just like, hey guys, remember the movie from 1937? We're remaking it into a hollow shell of what it used to be, stark and soulless. And if there's any magic left in Disney's kingdom, it might be time to rediscover what made the original so timeless and stop treating its own classics like punchlines. Again, this Disney used to be imagination, inspiration, and innovation. They're none of that anymore. And people are tired of seeing just remakes. Remakes are just lame excuses to not create anything original. They don't want to create anything original. They want to bank on nostalgia. Like, hey guys, remember that real popular animated movie that it was around when you were a kid? Well, now you get to see a live action version of it with your kid. Experience the magic. No, there's no magic. There's no magic anymore. It's not fun to watch. They're not clever. They're not funny. They're not inspirational. They're not. You'll just see it and you're like, okay, when's the nostalgia come in? Even if they do, even if it's like a Lion King situation where it's like a 1-for-1, to the original, it's like, okay, when's the magic happen? When's the imagination and nostalgia hit me? Because I'm just looking at a live action remake that looks terrible compared to its 1990s animated counterpart. And I'm just not feeling the same about this as I did about that. So when's the magic come in? Even the kids, they think the kids are stupid. Even the kids can tell that these things are soulless. A lot of these parents are bringing like to Snow White. It's like, oh well, it's a nice way to shut the kid up for an hour and 30 minutes. But I bet even the kids are like, what is this? What the hell is this? And when you have kids questioning the quality of your Disney films, it's bad. It's bad. The fact that they re-released in 1,300 films and it only made $200,000. But sure, keep telling us that this movie was a huge success. Not just the first time, but this time around. It's a terrible movie. Rachel Zegler is a terrible person. The fact that they thought that this was going to somehow make them a lot of money is absolutely absurd. The fact that Disney continues to make the same mistakes and not learn that this is not the way to go. People are tired of soulless live action remakes. You know, people are hoping that Lilo and Stitch is going to be different, but now they're all flaked with controversy because, you know, well, not controversy, but, you know, changing things, certain characters. And why? Because people complained, oh, it might be hurtful to certain groups of people. Ooh, because we can't just have anything faithful anymore. Nope, we got to change it because people's fifis and fake vaginas might be hurt. So, but I don't know what they were hoping to get out of this. It's a terrible movie. No one liked it. I thought it would have been clear the first time when it failed, but no, they had to be reminded because they didn't get it the first time. No one likes this movie. You got the people on the right who hate it. You got the people on the left who were supposed to like it. They fucking hate it. You've pissed everyone off. And when you're pissing off both sides and then you try to do this, cinema. Anyway, but that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.